Let me state the obvious right at the beginning. Zimbabwe is a rich country. Our country, which is bounded by the Zambezi to the north and the Limpopo to the south, has some of the richest reserves of minerals in the world. We have one of the best climates in the world. We have rich agricultural lands. We have one of the highest literacy rates in Africa, if not the world. We are a rich country, and yet it is true that we are one of the poorest countries in the world. Our people battle to get a basic education, basic health. Our roads are potholed. Our people are suffering and starving. And we all have to ask ourselves the question, why is that so? Why is it that this country that is so wealthy has a people who are so poor? And it comes down to one phrase. It is a lack of accountability. For the last 40 years of ZANU-PF government, we have seen the squandering of our wealth, where a tiny oligarch has become obscenely wealthy on the backs of poor people. But how has that happened? Because they have not been held accountable. They have squandered state resources, national resources for their own benefit at the expense of the people. How do we as a party intend tackling that? Well, it's a basic principle that charity begins at home, that we have to be the change that we want to see in society. And so when the MDC Congress, the MDC Alliance Congress was held in Gweru last year, one of the most important resolutions at that Congress was that we would be held accountable to the highest international standards ourselves. And we resolved that our accounts would be submitted to an independent audit by a firm of chartered accountants internationally recognized. And that is what we have done. And so today, ladies and gentlemen, may seem to be a relatively insignificant small step, but we believe it is a momentous step, not just in the life of this political party, but in the life of our nation. Because through the publication of these accounts, we are saying we are subjecting ourselves to be accountable for public funds. Most of the funds referred to in this document are public funds that were handed to the party in terms of the Political Parties Finance Act. And we are going back to the public primarily to say that these are your taxpayers' monies that you worked hard to generate. This is how we spent them. And in doing this, we are saying that when we come to power, and it's not if, it's a matter of when Advocate Nelson Chamisa is President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, we will apply the standard that we are applying to ourselves, to every public institution, and to our nation, so that state funds are correctly accounted for and properly spent. So we tender this document today. It is a small document. Our accounts have been audited, as I say, by an independent firm for the period 27th of May, which was the date all of us were elected in Gweru, to the 31st of December 2019. They show that our accounts are in order. It is an unqualified audit that we have received from this independent firm, which in essence, in layperson's terms, states that our accounts are in order. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I fully appreciate that you yourselves today have not had sight of the accounts, and so to that extent you will not be in a position to question us. We are going to make available a copy of the accounts, which have been signed by the Secretary General and myself, so that you can scrutinize them. I recognize that you won't be able to perhaps ask the questions that you want to, but in the spirit of transparency, you can email me, and I undertake that I will respond to your questions in writing, or if you want further interviews, so that you can interrogate these accounts. But I thank you very much for coming today. I thank my colleagues. In particular, may I thank the President, Advocate Chamisa, who has steadfastly supported this call made at Congress and has supported all of us in leadership in arriving at this moment. Thank you.